Hello, world. All right, in this episode, I'm going to touch on the universe is always in flow. Energy is always moving. And we can look at our own lives and look at the mentality we take into the world and see that if we're coming from a place of what can I get, what can I take, this is a very stagnant energy. This is in this form. There's no flow. It's all receive, 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 and you're not giving anything. And nature is always a flow, a cycle. An ebb and a flow. The seasons, the tides, the wind moving. Um, everything is in motion. There's always a give and a take. And when you're in the mentality of what can I consume, what can I take, what can someone give me, what can I get from something, from someone, there is no outward giving of anything. So you will always be in this lack state. You will always be in this state of desire, of craving things, of lack, because you are not in flow. There is no transfer of energy, and you will always be dissatisfied and always craving the next thing because you are not coming from a place of giving anything. So if there's no transfer of energy, then you will never receive what you need. Nothing will ever be enough. And this mentality doesn't serve you and doesn't serve the universe, which is always looking to grow, to expand, to evolve. And if you are just trying to take and not give, then you will never get what you want. So it's flipping the script to, instead of what can I get, what can I take, what can I consume, it's what can I give, what can I create, how can I help the world, how can I share my gifts with the world, how can I alleviate suffering, how can I share my expertise, my wisdom, my knowledge, how can I create value for others in the world. And when my focus is on that rather than on the outcome or on what can I get, then you will naturally receive an equivalent exchange of what you are giving. So the more you give, the more you will naturally just receive in exchange for what you're giving. In various forms, you will be more abundant in whatever means that is, financially or otherwise, the more you give to the world, the more you give yourself, the more you share your knowledge, your expertise, your wisdom, your learnings. The more you do this, the more you will receive naturally. But the more you focus on what can I get, what can I get, what can I consume, what can I take, the less you will get, because your focus is stagnant. The flow is stifled. It's like the analogy of when you were a kid and you had a straw and you put the straw in your drink and you block it with your thumb or your finger, and you'd lift the straw out of the cup and there'd be water in the straw. The water would stay in the straw because you've created a suction. There's no flow, but as soon as you release your finger, the water is able to flow out and air is able to fill the gap. It's this state of flow is needed in life. Life is flow. It's energy in motion. Everything is moving all the time. And so the same thing applies to your life. And where you're experiencing lack, where you're experiencing these desires that aren't fulfilled, it's because your focus is in the wrong place. You need to be focusing on more on what can I create, what can I give to the world, and through that you will naturally receive the things that you previously desired. Through you giving, you will find yourself more, finding yourself with more joy, more happiness, more satisfaction in your life, because you've shifted your focus away from desires, away from cravings, and you're focusing more internally on creating. It's an inward focus versus an outward focus of what can I get. It's what am I giving? How can I help the world? And through that, you will help yourself. You will create the flow of giving. You will naturally receive from it. Why do you think you see so many like charitable organizations or like people philanthrop what's that word philanthropists philanthropy, yeah, so many people giving because they get addicted to it. They get addicted to the feeling they get of helping people, and they receive so much abundance in the form of like love or seeing other people succeed. You know, it's not just a monetary, a financial gain for people. It's an energy, a receiving of energy from giving so much, and that boosts them. That makes them feel good. That puts them in a higher vibrational state because they're giving so much. They're coming from a place of how can I help the world? How can I share my gifts? How can I alleviate suffering of others? And they receive so much through that. So yeah, it's flipping that focus of focusing internally and creating a flow in your life. Where in your life is there a stagnation of where are you looking at externally all the time? Like, what can I get? What can I get? Why don't I have this? Why don't I have that? Why is my life so tough? Why is everything so hard? It's probably because you're not in flow. You're not giving anything. You're stagnant. You're looking to take, but when you're trying to take in a vacuum, nothing budges. It's like the finger on the straw. You have to release your finger to allow the flow. You have to create. You have to give at something. You have to be giving something to receive. So create that flow in your life, that exchange of energy, of movement, you know. Create that flow and change your focus. And that will alleviate a lot of your suffering. And when you notice you're coming back to that, what can I get? What can I take? Then you know that you need to switch your focus back to what can I give? How can I help the world? How am I not sharing my gifts? Where am I not letting my light shine in the world? Where am I being selfish and denying the world the gifts that I have? And through sharing your gifts, through sharing your knowledge, your expertise, the skills that you have, you're able to provide some sort of business perhaps to that. And through that business, through you sharing your skills, you receive financially, you receive for doing that, for sharing who you are, you're speaking your truth, sharing your wisdom, your skills, your expertise, what you've learned. Through doing that, you will receive. But focus on what can I give versus what can I get. That is the secret. So give that a try. Focus more on yourself and creating a flow of how can I give, what can I create versus what can I take, what can I consume. There needs to be more flow in your life if you're stuck.